Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Today we are going to discuss the chapter 11, it's audit sampling. Before we have to start the audit sampling, we have to review little bit about our previous lectures on the different stages of an audit from the start of the acceptance. Then we'll go for an audit risk. Then we have to discuss the audit evidence. This structure is as well relevance, or you may say that related to the our chapter 9 audit risk. As we in chapter 9 studied the audit risk, sample risk and non-sampling risk. Sampling risk, we studied that if we have a bad luck while we are selecting our sample from the population. Bad luck mean to say that we choose the sample of 50 out of 20,000, and these 50 are the having sufficient and appropriate information, and you have built the opinion that the company having a true and fair representation of the data, and you give a clean or unqualified report on the behalf of this sampling. So this is the sampling risk. It may be apart from 50, there is a number of invoices are over there in 20,000 that are having misassertions. And this situation, because of this, the 50 that is having appropriate information, and you build an opinion about the company. So it is called the audit risk as well as the sampling risk. Similarly, we have the definition for non-sampling risk. Apart from the sampling, like we say, we have been bad planning for the audit. There is an issues in the internal control system over there. Maybe I having the low budget for an audit, maybe having the low resources, may have the bad planning for an audit. So because of this one, what kind of opinion I have generated, so it may be cause a non-sampling risk. So sampling risk mean to say that you choose the sample for your audit, and non-sampling mean apart from the sampling, there are certain sources on the behalf you make your opinion and write a report. Let's look toward the definition, introduction of the sampling in the audit. Unless an audit client is a very small, almost all audit testing relies on the sampling. This is because there simply isn't time to examine all document transaction and balance, and it wouldn't be economically available to do so. If, however, valid statistical conclusions are to be drawn about to a population based on a sample, then the sample must be free from the bias. In other words, every document transaction or balance in the population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. This is the sampling. It's very simple. You may see that unless an audit client, unless the audit client is a very small, if organization is very small, then you may be easily can audit for each of the documents of the entity. But if the organization, if the entity is very big, so then it is unable, it is, you may say that, taking a lot of time and taking a lot of resources for an audit. So the mostly practice is over there, you have to test it, or you maybe you have to test the sample of the, you have to take the sample for a company, and you have to test, and you will, after testing the sample, you will generate a opinion for the company and write it on your report about the document transaction. Somehow, the statistical conclusion gives you the right, or maybe up to 95% of the conclusion for a company. So, sampling is very important for the auditor because it saves your time as well as it saves your resources, as well as you may say that it gives you the accurate or up to accuracy ensured results. for the entity, and then you can, on the behalf of this sampling sample data, you evaluate the data and you have generate the result, and on the behalf of the results you make the opinions for the company and write it in your report. This is known as audit sampling. Sample always take from the population. Population mean to say that to whom you are going to study. Mean to say that the population of the world. When you are like taking an example of medicine area, when you are going to practice or when you are going to try a medicine at the first time, you do not try it on the whole world, and it is not easy for you to try it for the whole world. You have to take the sample from the whole world, mean to say that you have the different countries, you have select the different people from the different countries, and you have create a sample from the whole world or from the country or from the province. There is a number over there with you, sample size over with you, and you have to test your medicine with that sample size, and you have to evaluate the result. Either this is effective for this one sample, it may say that it will be effective for the remaining population. Similarly, in the audit, you have not enough time, you have not enough resources, you are not economically good with to take the whole population for your study, but you have to take the sample from the whole data and you have to check and evaluate the data, and at the end you build a opinion for a company. So this is called the sampling. Audit sampling. The process involves sample design. Okay, we have in see in audit sampling, sample design, sample size, sample selection, performing audit procedure, evaluate sample results. First of all, you have to, for your sampling selection, you have to select the sample design. Includes specify the population. In which area you may say you are see you are auditing the you are checking right now the department of receivable or a payable or in the inventory warehouse. So you have to select the design where you are going to collect the data in the field in the area. Sample size, it is the sample, the number of units you are selecting for your study from for an audit must be sufficient to reduce sampling risk. And this is mentioned to you, this is mentioned to the auditor that the sample size must be sufficient. The quantity is over there. How much quantity we discussed in our previous lecture? We said that high number of sample or maximum sample size, a huge sample size can reduce the sampling risk because there is a chance of accuracies over there as comparative the chance of faulty over there. Sample selection through the selection method see below, we can see in our future performing audit procedure, we will test different items with the different controls, sorry, with details, and at the end after checking the sample we evaluate our results, and after evaluating the result we have checked the errors over there, we have to mention the errors and accordingly we make opinion for an company. Okay, we are now looking the different methods of the sampling. The first one is a random selection method for a sampling. How an auditor do the sampling? What kind of methods are? The first one is the random sampling. So from the name, it's a random. You are selected the sample randomly. Like suppose the bulbs in a room and you in the room and you have to select different bulbs from different areas randomly, and in this case there might be 100% of probability of each bulb for a pickup. Similarly, the random selection is over here when you are choosing the invoices. So you are choosing the invoices randomly. not with a sequence, not within a systematic way. The best way to remove the bias, and this is the best way of removeness of the biasness. You are not giving the favor to any of. You are choosing randomly. Okay, systematic interval selection. There is a way in which you choose the sample in a systematic way. Mean to say that there is a sequence over there is a system over there. This is an approximation to the pure random selection again. If with 20,000 invoices, you wanted to look at about 20 invoices, you could do that by looking at every 1,000th of invoices. You are choosing every 1,000 of the invoices. After 1,000, you choose one. After 1,000, you choose the second. After 1,000, you choose the third. Mean to say there is a sequence number is over there. There is a systematic way over there. I other than say in every five, I choose a fifth one. So you go up with the systematic way. Okay, the third one, haphazard selection. Haphazard selection is like you say auditor somehow uses though it is not so fruitful for an auditor, but it is very easy to do, frequently used because this one is the convenient. You may say that you have a close your eyes, you have select a file and you just put your hand in the file and pick a page, and you say that yes, this one document is okay. Then you choose another one file and you pick randomly from the file and this one is okay. For example, the auditor opinion of file and random and picking the invoices at which the file is opened. Okay. This is the frequently used because it is convenient, and haphazard selection is a selection is simple as auditor pick the file and choose the documents from the file and read it and take it as a sample for an audit. Block selection, you have set the block for your sampling. You maybe this block will be according to the date wise. It may be you have select the date wise block and you select the sample from the date wise. It may be you select the some range of the amount, some dated range is over there. So this is called the block selection. Stratification. Strata mean to say there is a layer over there. You are segregated your population in different areas, and from that one area you select the samples randomly. So this is called a stratification. Stratification. If you know that there are 20,000 invoices, 10 of those are below above 10,000, then it might make sense to make sure we choose at least all of 10 invoices plus another 10 choose them randomly. Stratification means dividing your population into different subpopulation layers with similar characteristics, usually monetary amount. Okay. Strata mean to say that there is a layer you have divided your population you have divided your population into subpopulation according to their nature. Mean to say that I choose the invoices having the amount up to 100,000. I'll give a portion. I selected into I divided this one. Another I will portion having the portion which have the amounting of from 100,000 to 300,000. And thirdly, I have select my population from 300 to up to 1,000. So I divided into three different 1 to 100, 100 to 300, and 300 to 1,000. So I choose the sample randomly from each of the subdivided population for my study. Okay, value weighted selection or monetary unit sampling. It's also called as the dollar unit sampling or dollar sampling, used to determine whether the account balance contain misstatements. Used to determine whether account balances contain misstatements. Specific account balances tend to select larger dollar balance or transaction. You have to check accordingly with the value of the dollar, the value of the money. Monetary mean to say that the money. This is because it treats each individual dollar as a sampling unit. Okay, we can see that here we have the customer 1 to customer 21 in the Excel picture. Customer 20 having the amount of 22,280 rupees, and you have to select this one because of the dollar amount or account balance is very high as comparative to the another one. Like we say that you do not select the consumer 6 or customer 6. You have verified the consumer 20 as according to their account balance, as according to their dollar of account in invoices. You have to check and you have to take this as a sample for your study. Okay, in second last slide, we can see that there is a sampling risk again over there. Sampling risk that conclusion based on a sample is different to conclude if all items examined, reduced as sample size increased. Okay, sampling risk is similar. I mean say that it's similar to the audit risk. When an auditor do the sampling, and because of you may say that due to bad luck, he choose the invoices which having the true and fair information, and the remaining invoices having the faulty information. And because of this sample which having the true and fair information, you make a conclusion that the you make opinion that the company having true and fair information, clear it as unqualified. So this is a wrong opinion to mean to say that this is the audit risk. So this is also called a sampling risk. In other sense, we can see that there is a non-sampling risk of a wrong conclusion arising from the reason other than the sampling, reduced by proper planning, supervision, and a review. Here you have during your audit not taking the risk or not facing the risk by your sample size, by your sample. But here you are facing this according to your own planning or maybe according to your own resources. Non-sampling risk. You are not taking the sample. Mean to say that it may be just because of your team, just because of your team planning, just because of the availability resources or similar situation. Okay, we can see non-sampling risk is the risk that the auditor formed the wrong conclusion, which is unrelated to the sampling risk. Yes, we knew that it's unrelated to the sampling. An example of such a situation would be there the auditor adopts inappropriate audit procedure or does not recognize a control deviation. An auditor do not know or choosing inappropriate way for an audit. Because of this, he built a wrong opinion. So you may say there is a non-sampling risk. You are not taking sample because of your inappropriate audit procedure. You are facing the problem of a wrong opinion. Similarly, with the control deviation because of internal control system, there is a weak internal control system, or there may be you can disturb ineffective control system over there, and because of this, your opinion is variated, and you put a wrong opinion about the entity of a company. So this may cause a problem for a auditor as well as for the more problem for a company. Evaluate sample results. Okay, in the end, when we auditor take the sample, he evaluate the samples and feed the result after evaluating or evaluation examination of the information. There are after he can see the test controls, evaluate the sample. Samples are evaluated with the different techniques by an auditor. You may say that there is a statistical tool over there. Statistical tool tells about the or you can say results you the different measurements on the behalf of these measurements. Like I say 0.5% is error and 95% is good. So you said that 95% meant to say that there is a good result of the samples. So you make the opinion according to the measurement by using different statistical tools. This is from all today. Thank you very much.